Welcome back to my Comanche rebuild series. Today I'm going to try to attempt to install the head gasket. This is a MLS head gasket, multi-layered steel from the brand Mahal, I guess. Hopefully this gasket works out good. I think I'm ready. I got the valves back in the head and the springs. Then clean the surfaces of both. I don't know why that one looks like it has rust on it, but I've been cleaning it and it just stays like that. So, but yeah, I think I'm ready. So I'm just going to get this head gasket out of the package and see how it fits on the block. So I was just going over the instructions real quick. So it says to make sure you clean your surfaces, check your finish of your surfaces. It says to replace the fasteners. That's up to you. And then install dry. So don't oil this or anything. That's what Mahal recommends. And then they go into more detail right here. Clean mating surfaces, check surface finish, replace torque to yield bolts. Those are bolts that are supposedly only supposed to be used once. And then install dry. So I have it lined up as best as I can get it. Now the only thing I don't like about the multi-layered steel head gaskets is they have these rivets holding the layers of steel together. There's one there, one there, one there, and one there. This one isn't going to come into contact with really anything because there's nothing under it and nothing's going to be over it. It's going to be there's a hole over it. So that one doesn't touch anything. This one doesn't touch anything. This one does come in contact with the other side of the block. But the biggest part of the rivet that sticks out is on this top side. The back side's barely just sticking out. So it should just get smashed when you torque it down. I don't think they're meant to be taken off. And then this one also comes in contact with the block on the other side. And so does this one, I believe, yeah. So, but the top side that sticks out the most on these three rivets that are on this side, like for instance, that one will be, that hole right there won't even touch that rivet. And then it's going to be the same for this one, would be that hole, which is going to be over that, which isn't going to touch that rivet. And then the same for this corner, it's going to be that hole or whatever. So the only ones you really got to worry about, I guess, is these three, but only on like the back side, I guess. It's weird, but I'm just going to leave them on and hope for the best. But yeah, let me just make sure this is lined up again, and then I'm going to just sit the head on top and just get ready to get some bolts in there. Alright, I got the head gasket lined up as best as I can possibly get it, I think. I'm mainly going off of looking into the bolt holes with the flashlight, and I can kind of see where the gasket's at and if the bolt's going to go in smoothly. But that's kind of how much it's sticking out. It's like barely sticking out, if anything at all. so I was kind of going off of how much it's sticking out the sides, trying to make sure I have it nice and even. But yeah, mainly I can tell it's lined up just from looking into these bolt holes with the flashlight. And it looks pretty good, so I'm gonna get all my bolts ready. I have some of the old ones there, and I even had to buy a couple brand new ones because some were messed up. So okay, so I got all the bolts in. Those shorter bolts go on this side, and then your longer bolts are going to be on this side of the motor. I have them all in except for this one, which is that one there. And for that one, bolt number 11, it's going to be exposed to the water. I mean, your coolant. So I went and got this. I think this is the right stuff. It says thread sealant, high temperature. Because you don't want, obviously, don't want coolant coming up through the bolt and water getting in your engine, or I mean in places you don't want it. So I'm going to go ahead and all these bolts right now are just hand tight, all the ones I have in so far. This is the last one that we're putting here with sealant. So I'm going to get some sealant on that, and then we can start the torquing process. Okay, so I went ahead and covered the threads, I mean all of it, because it's, like I said, it's going to be exposed to the water that's in your coolant. So there's the potential for it to rust. So I just coated it all, the whole damn thing, as far as where the threads are. So now we can go ahead and put it in the hole and get ready to start cranking down. See if I can get it in there without getting... You also don't want to rub this stuff off as you're putting it in. Okay. So I've reached the threads now. I'm just going to hand tight it. There's a little bit of resistance, but I think that's because the head gasket is rubbing on the threads a little. Alright, it's damn near all the way on there as far as how tight I can get it with my hand. Now, as you'll see, I don't know if you might be able to see, there's the bolt there. So not a whole lot of threads come into the water area, but you can see where it's right there. Yep, the whiteness, there's the bolt right there. So yeah, and all that gunk should keep water from coming up the threads. So now we can start our torque process. I'm just going to follow what it says to do in the Haynes repair manual. If you look right here, so it says your first go around is going to be 22 foot-pounds, then you're going to go around every bolt again at a 45 foot-pounds, and then every bolt again at 110, except for bolt number 11, which is the one that we put the sealant on. That's only going to be torqued to 100 foot-pounds. And I think there's a little diagram here that shows the torquing order. It says to kind of start in the middle and then go in a kind of a spiral outwards. So I'll try that and see how it goes. All right, so I just went through and did the first torque setting. I went around it basically twice at 22 foot-pounds. So the reason why you kept seeing me switching sockets is because the stock bolts that come with this thing are these ones here with your regular, hex head or whatever you want to call it. The 6-sided bolt. I'm reusing those. Those are the original bolts, from '87, and I'm taking a gamble by reusing them. The Haynes manual says to replace all your bolts. I actually only replaced 3, which is this one, and this one. But the replacement bolts have a different style bolt, as you can see right there, or nut. I don't have a socket that has that type of design, but I noticed my 14 millimeter socket, this one here, seems to tighten that, but I'm a little worried that once I go past 22 foot-pounds, it's going to strip it. Not too sure. Okay, so I'm kind of tripping. I do have those sockets, but I don't have that size. So I have these, but I'm literally missing a 14, 13, 12, and then I don't have the metrics. Damn. Yeah, I don't have that size. That's not good because I already got this in there, and you want to torque it and let it sit, not torque it a little bit and then go to the store and get a socket and come back and torque it again. So I need to find, and I'm looking through my spare sockets and I'm not seeing that. Wait, is that it? But it's not deep, so yeah, that's not it. Yeah, this sucks. I don't have the size. So that worked out pretty good. I went through and torqued all of them down to 110 except for this one. This one goes to 100. That's the one with the Permatex. You can see right there. So now I need to go ahead and get the rockers back on. I ended up getting new rockers because the old ones were totally rusted out because the engine sat for over 5 years and got rusted out. So I ended up getting these rockers. They're Mellings. It's actually the whole kit, so it has everything. The 2 rocker arms, and I think this is called a bridge. And then these 2 pivot things. So that's 1 cylinder right there. So I got 6 boxes. There's 3, 4. My other 2 are right here.